In the old days, like maybe 6 months ago, Excel macros were very difficult to set up. Now they are suddenly so much easier. If you're watching this, you probably already know what a macro is. It's just a small program that can run inside Excel that can take care of otherwise monotonous, repetitive tasks in just a single mouse click. Macros can be very powerful, but they also can be a real bear to write. The VBA programming language is pretty easy to learn, but you have to know which objects to use and then which methods and properties are available for those objects. The end result is often that any time you might save with the macro is more than offset by the hours you spent looking things up and debugging your code. Don't get me wrong, writing code can be fun, but life is short, and now there is a much easier way. All we have to do is ask for help from our new favorite best friend. Of course, I'm talking about ChatGPT, the artificial intelligence chatbot. Here's a good example, and if you want to follow along, just click the link in the description. Here we have a table of sales amounts for different stores that are grouped by year and season. The table looks fine except for one thing. We can't do anything with it. If we try to sort the table by sales amount, the year and season information will be scrambled. And forget about trying to analyze this data with a pivot table. What we need to do is make each sales amount line item complete by itself. In other words, we need to copy the year and season information down to the blank cells below them. Now we could copy and paste a few times. That would not be too difficult for a table this size, but what if we had a really large table? Is there an obscure Excel command that can help us? Well, there are hundreds of commands, but unfortunately none that will do what we want, at least not yet. But we can create a macro to take care of it in a single click. As many have said before, the key to using ChatGPT is to create a clear and coherent prompt that the chatbot can understand. Let's think about this. What exactly do we want to do? We are going to select a group of cells, and then we want to fill each blank cell in the selection with the value above it. Sounds logical. Let's try it. Okay, ChatGPT. In Microsoft Excel, create a macro to fill each blank cell in the selection with the value above it. Then I hit the Enter key, and here's our answer. I will let my computer read it to you.
Certainly. You can use the following VBA code to create a macro in Microsoft Excel that fills each blank cell in the selected range with the value from the cell above it.
Okay, that's enough. Seems pretty good, doesn't it? I love the fact that it explains how you should install the macro in Excel. And if you want to see the complete answer, just click the link in the description below. So all we have to do is click this button to copy the code. Then we go back to Excel, and in the Developer tab, we click on Visual Basic. Then we insert a module, and in the module, we paste the code. Now we'll switch back to our spreadsheet. If you haven't done so already, be sure to select the blank cells and the values above them. We'll go back to the Developer tab, and this time we click the Macros button. A list of macros appears, and there's only one, so all we need to do is click the Run button. It worked! Thank you, ChatGPT. Now, as you probably know, ChatGPT is not perfect. It's only it's not human, but it bases whatever knowledge it has on human text from the internet. So it makes mistakes, a lot of mistakes, which means we often have to check the code and debug it, or maybe the prompt we used is confusing to the chatbot. Can we write a prompt more effectively? One thing I often do for complex problems is to divide the problem into parts and then ask ChatGPT to solve each part. Either way, if ChatGPT is having trouble with the code, then you would probably have trouble with it yourself. And even if the code does not do exactly what you want, it at least is pointing you in the right direction. If you know some VBA, you should be able to take it from there. Now, let's hope your macro is working properly. How do you save it? Now, be careful here. We click File and then Save As, and we now have to save the file in a macro-enabled format. In the future, whenever we want to use this macro in other spreadsheets, all we have to do is be sure that this workbook file is open. We always have fun working with Excel, and especially with ChatGPT. We hope you've had some fun too. If you found this video helpful, please take a second to click the like and subscribe buttons. And if ChatGPT came up with a really great macro for you, please let us know in the comments. We'd love to hear about it. Thanks for doing that. And until next time, thanks for watching.